Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhum, they were on one side of the wall, and Sayyidina Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu was sitting on the other side of the wall. Later on, some muhaddithin and some fuqaha, they said that we reflected on that incident and we found out that it was not a coincidence. It was like from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because if you look as to how are these Sahaba buried later on, it is Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's grave, and then Sayyidina Abu Bakr's and Sayyidina Umar, and they are all together. And Sayyidina Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu's his grave is on the other side. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a ring that he used to wear, and he was possibly just like moving the ring that was in his hand, and accidentally it came off and it fell into the well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is Tauqeer. I'm in Madinah right now, and we are right next to Masjid Quba, and this place which says is Bir Aris, and it's also called Bir al-Khatim, which means it's the well of the ring. It's a very interesting place because there is some history that is associated with this. Once Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam he went out to relieve himself. That's a hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, narrated by Sayyidina Abu Musa al-Ashari radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He said that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he relieved himself, that there was a well here. In fact, there's a circle on the other side of this pillar, which inshallah ta'ala we can show later, where the well used to be. And Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after that he finished, he sat on the wall of the well, and it was a garden. And Sayyidina Abu Musa al-Ashari radiallahu ta'ala anhu said that, let me guard the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he was around, and there was a gate of the well, that garden, and somebody came and he knocked, and he went and he saw outside, and it was Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And he came and he asked for permission from the Prophet ﷺ that if he can let him come inside the garden, and he said go and let him come in, and also give him the glad news of paradise. So Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he came and he sat by the side of the Prophet ﷺ. After some time, somebody came again, and he went and he saw that it was Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. So he asked for permission. Prophet ﷺ said give him permission to come in, and also give him the glad news of paradise. So Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu came and he sat on the other side of the Prophet ﷺ. So it was a well, and Prophet ﷺ, Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq and Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu were sitting side by side. And after some time again, somebody walked in, and it was Sayyidina Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu. So he asked for permission. Prophet ﷺ said that give him the glad news of paradise, and also tell him that he will fall into some sort of a tribulation and calamity. Anyway, he came in, and because this side of the wall was occupied, so Sayyidina Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu came and he sat on the other side of the well. So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a ring that he used to wear, where he used to with which he used to stamp the letters that he used to send to the kings of the other places, to make it official. That ring got passed on to Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu in the time of his khilafat, and then he used to stamp the letters to make it official, and then it passed on to Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and of course eventually to Sayyidina Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu. So Sayyidina Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, in the time of his khilafah, in the time of his caliphate, he came here at this very place, and he was sitting on that well, just remembering possibly the old days, maybe the same incident that happened, that he came and Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting, and Sayyidina Abu Bakr and Sayyidina Umar, and he was possibly just like moving the ring that was in his hand, and accidentally it came off and it fell into the well. And it was right at this place where that ring actually fell off. And of course it was the ring of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it was time of his khilafat, so he asked people to search for that, and all the water was taken out from the well, but that ring was not discovered. That was lost. And that ring of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that khatim, is somewhere here. So this is such a blessed place that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam ring is somewhere over here inside, because it was never found out. And by the way, it was very interesting that, as I said, that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhum, they were on one side of the wall, and Sayyidina Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu was sitting on the other side of the wall. Later on, some muhaddithin and some fuqaha, they said that we reflected on that incident, and we found out that it was not a coincidence. It was like from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because if you look as to how are these Sahaba buried later on, it is Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's grave, and then Sayyidina Abu Bakr's and Sayyidina Umar, and they are all together. And Sayyidina Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu's his grave is on the other side, which was actually not even Baqi at that time. In fact, there was an incident there where he was buried right outside Baqi, but the fact that he was buried outside and he was buried on the other side, so people said, maybe there was an ishara, there was some sort of a pointer here by Allah Ta'ala that this is how these Sahaba will be buried. So anyway, very amazing place according to the fact that that ring is somewhere over here. So mashallah, these are very amazing places, blessed places, right next to Quba. And inshallah ta'ala, we'll also talk about what happened at Quba in another clip, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.